Good afternoon. Greetings, greetings. How's everybody doing? Welcome everyone to our vibe coding session, session number 9. What's today? The 4th, 4-4. All right. Shout out to everybody on this beautiful 4-4 day. Shout out to Atlanta. This is the 404 day. We're going to have a dope session. It's going to be somewhat brief because I do have to prepare myself for tonight. We have a workshop, a free masterclass for everybody to attend entitled The 10 Claw Commandments. The 10 Claw Commandments. Let me pull that up. Shout out to everybody that has already signed up to be a part of the 10 Claw Commandments. It is going to be monumental, you dig? So I look forward to seeing everybody in the building. Um, and let me just break down what the 10 Claw Commandments will break down. There is a lot of talk around the world right now in these streets, in these YouTube streets about the clawbot. I mean, you literally can't go anywhere without seeing or hearing about the clawbot. Come in. And I'm going to bring come in the information to the family the way that I can. We'll be breaking down the 10 Claw Commandments. We'll bring it from a perspective of where the people, because we kind of know what the people are looking for. It's based off of emails that I get. Is based off of the inboxes that I receive. People are definitely looking for solutions. But one of the top things that everybody wants to know is how can they monetize with the AI? How could they monetize with the AI? What is some of the ways that they can make money with it? And that's where we'll be approaching with the 10 Claw Commandments. You know, we're gonna break down some of the ways that you can monetize it, some of the many use cases, and qualify these use cases. You know what I mean? Yeah, let me pull that up and let me get the link for anybody that wants to sign up to it. But yeah, it'll be a dope demonstration. Um, it took me a long time to even understand what exactly the Clawbot was. I was hearing so much about it, but it really took me a long time to figure it out because you hear so much in this space about all of the new things that are happening. You literally could get drowned out by the excitement. You feel me? So I had to quiet myself and I had to go to I had to sign myself up to a few of these courses and learn more about it. And then I went ahead and I got the device. Unbeknownst to many people, you could run the claw or what they call the open claw on different devices, as small as a Raspberry Pi up to like an Android. And then, of course, they recommend that you utilize the Mac Mini. That's why you see in the adverts the man is holding a mini Mac or a Mac Mini in his hand and whatnot. That's the computer that I went and purchased. And yeah, it's definitely a game changer. Just think about having an AI that works for you. Not just an AI. When I say AI, you may be confused and you think Chat GPT. No, 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 no. I'm speaking about an operating system. I'm speaking about an actual machine, an intelligent machine that does many, many different things. It controls agents, thousands of agents. You can program it. You can put your personality into this machine, meaning that you can upload files that basically break down who you are or what your superpower is. I've done this before in class. where I went around and I asked everybody what their superpowers were. What does that mean? That just simply means like what are you a subject expert at? Superpowers, like what do you do greater than most people? Okay, some people's superpowers are they're clairvoyant. Some people's superpowers are, they have the ability to see the forest for the trees. Some people's superpowers are their endurance. When they put their mind to something, they're overachievers and whatnot. You have superpowers, you have gifts, and you have talents. All of those are separate. But with this new AI and the way that they're building it out to be more for businesses and more for the creator economy, right? What is happening is that they're merging people's skill sets with the technology and is moving at an accelerated pace. So now, not only do you have an assistant, but you actually have an operating system. You actually could put together an orchestrated system where you now could just build and build and build. And what is more important than building? Shipping. And what does that mean? That means that you could finish a project. You know how many projects I have in my hard drive that are literally unfinished? Do you know how many projects that I have where I made it right to the finish line and I didn't cross it? You feel me? Do you know how many unwritten books I have? Do you know how many quote unquote billion-dollar ideas that I have in my mind? But I was somewhat what's the word? Turned off, or I was somewhat taken aback because the search for the team that I needed to do this project, I might have found 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4. And sometimes that gets very frustrating, especially when life is lifing. But now with the AI and now with the Clawbot and whatnot, you could do some of these things that you were restricted. You now have you could become a one man
It's a
army.
lot for you because they ain't stopping us.
You could be a one man army, right? And that is very, 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 I would just say that's what a lot of people were looking for. That's what a lot of people were hedging on. That's what a lot of people actually needed. So now we're in a brand new era, in a brand new day. I just saw an article where they have a $1 billion startup. They just launched they have a one person or a two-man $1 billion startup. And what does that mean? That just simply means that for years they were predicting that the technology would become so advanced that you could basically launch what they call a unicorn business, right? By yourself. What does that mean? That means that you didn't need a 30-man, 20-man, 40-man team. And throughout the years, the teams in some of these businesses that were called unicorn businesses, businesses that crossed the $1 billion line, they became smaller and smaller and smaller down to the last team was on Lovable, right? And they had about I think 10 people on the team and whatnot. But now the technology, because it's the advancement in the technology more so. The technology has advanced to such a degree to whereas two men, right, were able to secure a $1 billion value evaluation of a company that was started with $20,000. Okay. And this is what's possible with not just regular AI, but with systems, right? They're putting together systems. Okay. These are systems that they're putting together. So these systems are working and whatnot. And the proof is in the pudding. Okay. One of the great things that I've said about the AI is that it's operational. It's not, you don't have to believe in it. It has nothing to do with your beliefs. It has nothing to do with speculation. It has nothing to do with any of that. It is actualize. It's something that's called kinetic, right? As soon as you listen to this, as soon as you watch a demonstration, or as soon as you are made aware of a tool and whatnot, you can pick it up. it has nothing to do with anyone else. You in the comfort of your home and the comfort of your privacy, you can now yield the tool. Okay, you could yield these tools and you could do what you need to do. You know, um, and the story about the $1 billion cup. Hold on, let me see.
And in the content of the article make it seem like AI is the big savior here that enabled this outcome, when the reality is much more different. First, what is this company? The company is called Medvi, and to no one's surprise, they sell GLP-1s. And you might think, hey, I know companies like that, Hims, Roman. That is a serious build in business. You have to go hire doctors, pharmacists, get the right
Check
licensing,
out this.
credentialing. While yes, that used to be the case, you can actually just use turnkey platforms like OpenLoop and Care Validate, which offer all of this as a service. So what this means is that a telehealth platform like Medvi, they are a website that connects to these systems, and they are in the business of just acquiring customers. And the way that they acquire customers is through a very aggressive gray hat paid acquisition strategy on Meta. They will create many tens or hundreds of pages of like fake doctors, run some kind of like crazy ads, and get people to go sign up for GLPs. So the stuff that he is using AI for is just like generating copy, generating fake ads, generating images on his website. At this exact moment, there are like 500 ecom operators doing that exact thing for their brand. So the article says here, like, okay, Sam Altman's OpenAI says we're going to have super efficient companies, a one-person business worth $1 billion, kind of highlighting that this is that company. And it isn't really, because there isn't that much to be done here. You need a website and you need to run ads and offer some like baseline level of customer support. You don't make the products, you don't ship the products, you don't have doctors, you don't have pharmacists, you don't have all this back-end complexity. And anyone who operates in the e-commerce space knows of people. I mean, this is basically like drop shipping. They're drop shipping healthcare. But there are many an e-commerce brand that is doing hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue with one or two people, full-time employees, and a litany of contractors using AI in these ways, acquiring the same amount of customers. But the difference is those guys don't talk about it to the New York Times, and they also sell a $50 product versus something that is $3,000 a year. The actual story here is, why are we dropshipping healthcare, and how insatiable is the demand for weight loss drugs? Unsurprisingly, poor reporting from the New York Times once again. Here's this piece that they wrote yesterday and what the actual story is. Yesterday, they write how AI helped one man and his brother build a $1.8 billion company. Both the headline and the content of the article make it seem like AI is the big savior here that enabled this outcome, when the reality is much more different. First, what is this company?
So here's somewhat of the danger in New York Times pedestaling, or because they basically pedestaled not the man, they're pedestaling the actual methods that they're using to make money. New York Times speaks to billionaires, millionaires, Wall Street, and people that are out there, capitalists, right? So
Of
regardless
just
of
acquiring
the fact that he's doing drop shipping healthcare, they just gave up the game. They gave up the blueprint. They're giving the Wall Street the method, right? So people will
the
shame them,
ads and get
and they'll try to correct the article, but I don't think that they understand why that article was actually written. It's going to explode. It's going to make this become. If you check back in about 6 months, this process that they're using, or this method that
OpenAI
they're
said
using to basically use AI to scale to make thousands of pages and basically, you know, throw out thousands or hundreds of ads a day by automating it and whatnot, this will be copied. This will be upscaled. This will become this will turn into a lot of slop, right? But that's just the space that we're in right now. People are going to take whatever they see as working, and they're going to run with it. You're not going to stop that. You know what I'm saying? They're definitely going to run with it. Of course, I'm more ethical. I would say, when you build your business, you don't want to do things that are non-ethical. There's a lot of good actors and there's a lot of bad actors in this space. Um, but at the end of the day, it's capitalism. It's a race to the bottom line. You feel me? And I'm not out here to police nobody's ethical morals and whatnot. I want to see my people win. I just want to see my people win. but definitely win without getting your hands dirty. Let's take a little trip and check out some of the new sites. I want to take a little journey. We're not going to be here, like I said, for super long today, but I'm definitely going to we're going to tap into some of the new things that are out right now. So I checked this site out. I have not necessarily used the services. That's my disclaimer. But I'm checking it out, right? This is a site for entrepreneurs. I'm assuming that there's entrepreneurs in the building today. So, the world's first AI agent platform built for real business, right? From product design and sourcing to negotiation, store operations, marketing, and CRM, all handled in one conversation, right? So, how does this help anybody that's here? Well, it's the summertime. And if you have a 501c business, a 501c3 business, or if you do things like career days and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's so many melanated people right now without work, and they're looking for either to get hired, or some of them have decided, you know what? I'm gonna just take this severance and I'm gonna build my own shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna create my own brand. I'm gonna just bet on myself, right? Well, like I've said before, there's been no greater time to make a decision like that than now, because you have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of tools that you could utilize, right? That will help you. And you could become your own business. You could have many employees and they don't have to be human, but they'll do the job of a human even more efficiently than a human. Okay? They don't have the issues that humans have. They don't get sick. They don't take out time. They don't have to eat lunch and whatnot. They don't act sassy. You know what I'm saying? They might hallucinate. Sometimes you might have to go in for a little bit of, you might fix them up a little bit. You might have to fine tune things. But at the end of the day, you now have the opportunity to become the business that you always wanted to be. If you have knowledge on how corporate America even operates, if you are a expert, a subject expert on something, right? Now you have the upper hand, because you could sit down with Claude, Gemini, Chat GPT. You could sit down with any of these chat bots and have a conversation. And once the AI knows that you're intelligent in a certain type of subject and whatnot, that is when it will even respond to you more favorably. Why? Because the AI has a persona the same way that you have a persona. And once they realize that you know what you're talking about, you're utilizing certain type of lexicon and certain type of jargon, it will respond to you more favorably than if you come to it as with a fifth grader's mind. You know what I mean? It's gonna speak to you. The AI is speaking to my 6 year old. My 6 year old is able to take his drawings and whatnot. I told him how to take pictures of his drawings and upload it into Chat GPT, and then talk to it through the microphone, right? And say, upscale this to 4K, right? He's able to do that, okay? And is sending back pictures to him that look like it was drawn by a Marvel comic artist, right? So it will respond to a 5 year old, but it will definitely respond to somebody who interfaces with it with a certain level of expertise or intellect. Once again, if you're starting out with the AI, focus on what you're good at. Identify what your skill set is. Identify what your superpower is. Identify what your talent is. If it, so many people are venturing into spaces that they don't even belong. They're venturing into lanes that they have not yet mastered, and then they wonder why they get stumped and whatnot. But on the other flip side of that, don't let me discourage you, because once again, AI is a tutor, AI is an educator. You can learn something. You could learn about thermodynamics. You could become an engineer if you wanted to self-educate. So don't let me don't let me rant and take you off of your course. But I would say, for better results right now, to see optimal results right now in order to have AI working for you while you're in school and while you're learning something new, but you're still making money, or you're still quote unquote selling a product, or you're still administering a service. You will want to first set something up with the AI based off of what your skill set is. While you upskill, you want to monetize the skill set that you probably are paying loans on, the skill set that you gave your sweat equity for more than 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 10 days to corporate America. And what did they do? Fire you at 6 a.m. in the morning with with nothing. That's what happened to the employees at Oracle. Oracle is a $30 billion business, and they cut about no, a $30 billion, they cut 30,000 workers with a 6 a.m. email, right? And these people help build up that multi-billion-dollar business. These people are evil. Okay? Cut them off from healthcare, all type of stuff. So if people are giving up all of their energy and their time and their brain power and their sweat equity, when are you going to get something back other than the 401k? When are you going to get something back for what you know, for all of those books that you read, for all of the, for the PhD that you're paying on, and the master's degree and the bachelor's and all of that? That's what the AI is going to help you with. Okay? That's what the AI don't got nothing to do with it. The AI is an assistant. It is a layer. It's a new layer. It's a part of the industrial 4.0 that we're in. Okay? So that's the way that we see it. So check out ACO work. Let's play the clip. All right. So you could build a lot of things here. You could launch a store, you could organize files, you could build custom tools, you could build apps, you could schedule tasks, you could automate your emails. Okay. So it looks like this business, right? Because you could do the same thing that this company did, ACO. What are they doing? They're combining APIs and they're building out something on the back page, and then they're bringing a front facing site or a front facing service to the world. Okay. You can build a site like this in a day. You feel me? You could build a site. This is how far we have come. You literally could mimic a site like this in one day. This is not a very this is a well put together website with a very well put together idea, but this is something that you could think of. You should go outside, sit under a tree, do a little bit of sunbathing. You know what I mean? And you could think of some $1 million ideas like this. And then with Lovable, with Cursor, with Claude Code, with Anti Gravity, you could build sites out like this just by talking to the AI. You don't have to even have all of the quote unquote expertise and whatnot. You just have to have the idea at this point. Okay. So this is a very I like it. I like it. I'm going to do a spin on this site. You know what I mean? I just found out about it. But there's many sites like this popping up now all over the place. Let me drop the link in the chat. But if you have a business and you need a AI that's specifically built for your business to help you get ahead, then I would say definitely check not only this one out, but there's a few of them that you will want to explore. Okay. So let's go to a next site. Let's go to another site because there's a few of them. Okay, boom. So check this out. This is a pitch, right? So in our businesses, we have to put together what are known as pitch decks, right? We have to be able to pitch our businesses to other businesses when you're doing B2B and whatnot, and they ask you for a one page 501c3s, and you trying to get, you want to put together this proposal and whatnot. For my grant writers out there, please tap in with me. I got some legendary offers for y'all. You know what I mean? So yeah, sales pitch, pitch decks, product launches. If you coming out with an album and whatnot, if you're an artist and you're coming out with an album, you have to have one of these. You have to have a product launch, a PDF of of your songs, your merch, the story behind your album, the split sheet and all of that stuff. You got to put one of those together. I didn't even know this until I put out my last project, and I was told by an artist. I was a artist who's been in the game longer than me. You know, she put me on. You feel me? And yeah, it had results too. You know what I'm saying? I got better reception from lenders and things of that nature when I put together this deck. You know what I mean? Rather than rather than me just launching something with no backup. But this is an AI product, of course. You could put together these pitch decks a lot easier than Photoshop, Keynote, and things of that nature. You feel me? If you are in school, if you have a youth, you have a young if you have a child and they're in school and whatnot, and they do reports and things of that nature. If you're in college, if you're in master's degree, all of these things, right? You now have the opportunity to work with a site like this and put together what it is that you need to put together. So I'm gonna drop that link. It's very user friendly from the looks of things. Okay, and it puts out some great looking products. Like the UX on these are dope. Okay, as you can see. Can y'all see this page that I'm showing where I'm going through the pitch deck?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
Need that
Thank
link.
you. Thank you. So I love the aesthetics. I have not seen stuff like this in Photoshop. I mean in what do they call that? PowerPoint, you know? This looks a little more advanced than a PowerPoint presentation. Just imagine a client of yours opening up a pitch deck and they see something like this. I'm sure that they're going to remember you. Okay, you might, you know what I mean. I'm sure that they're going to remember you. But yeah, this looks real nice. Uh, I'm actually going to use this for my next presentation. Okay, very kinetic, as you can see, the movements and whatnot. The aesthetics look great. You know what I mean? More than likely, they probably have Nano Banana integrated in their system. And once again, another company that's using the APIs, right? They're using the APIs of tools that exist. What are they doing? They're integrating the APIs into their product, and then they're selling it back to the world because they right now with AI with the advancements of AI, this is all of this stuff that you're seeing. It's all Google has it, OpenAI is holding it, Claude is holding it. Like they all have the APIs that will allow any business to do stuff like this. Okay, any idea that you have of a business and you want that business to have visuals, moving video incorporated into it. That is what an API key is. And I've broken it down and I'll break it down a little bit more. We'll go to an API website and I'll show you what the API is and how many APIs are out there and how you could get your own API and what you can do with it. And this is something that they've held. I'm not gonna get conspiratorial, but
After 15 years in American oak,
these are some of the things that they've held back from us
short slumber in Madeira wine casks gives this
because we're seen as the consumer base, right? We're the customer. In the presence of customers, in the presence of hustlers, you're only a customer. So we're the customers. We are the consumer base. That's why they always talk about, oh, black people spend trillions of dollars. We're not prosumers though. Well, we are now. Shout out to all of the entrepreneurs who have risen up. We are now. Um, Black women, the rate at which black women are becoming business owners and entrepreneurs is staggering. Okay, the rising of the quote unquote serial entrepreneur is we're in that phase right now. Okay, we're definitely here. So we want to work smarter and not harder, right? And that's what these tools are actualizing. That's what these tools are being built for. That's what the integration is about, working smarter and not harder. Okay.
After 15 years in American oak, a short slumber in Madeira wine casks gives this magnificent whiskey warm marmalade notes, a flourish of peach, and a gentle nuttiness. The Bolveni 15-year-old Madeira cask.
That's 11 Labs, right? You basically could go to 11 Labs and have any voice speak for your brand. It could be an old British voice. It could be a Russian voice. It could be a Jamaican patois. It could be a French, a French man or a French woman. It could be a Vietnamese language or a Vietnamese accent, a Colombian accent. Anything that you could think of, you could find that accent or that tonality on 11 Labs. You can actually use your voice too. And you could tweak your voice if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? You could use your voice and then you could tweak it, make it deeper, make it lighter. There's so many things that you could do with your voice. Okay. And man, the sounds, like, just think about it. We're looking at these static pictures. They don't have no sound.
After
They don't have a voiceover. They're moving and whatnot. You know what I mean? Some of them are static, but some of them are moving. And so, that's cool. We get it, right? But we don't understand what we're looking at so much. Now, when the voice
After
comes in,
15 years in American oak,
right?
a short slumber in Madeira wine casks
Different.
gives this magnificent whiskey warm marmalade notes, a
different.
flourish of peach, and a gentle nuttiness.
Right?
The Bolveni 15-year-old.
It's like it's the completion of what it is that we're looking at and whatnot. It sells the liquor now. Now they're selling it. Before they're presenting it. Now this is going for the sale.
After 15 years in American oak, a short slumber in Madeira wine casks gives this magnificent whiskey warm marmalade notes, a flourish of peach, and a gentle nuttiness. The Bolveni 15-year-old Madeira cask.
Okay. So we get the picture when it comes to this, right? I believe all of that is AI generated. It's gotten to the point where you could generate all of this with AI. You don't have to set up no focus.
Beautility, how fusing function and beauty can change the world. Brought to you by Here. From our pivotal position as a design studio, we have the opportunity to positively impact the world, connecting the right people and amplifying the right conversations. This Craft Week exhibition builds on our all-consuming belief in beautility, the art of creating beautiful things with meaningful purpose.
Right now. So yes. Beautiful, beautiful UI. User interface. Beautiful. Okay. So that's pitch. And I'll drop the link in the chat so you could go and check that out. Let's go and see what the pricing looks like. Not bad. $15 a month. And if you come in as a team, $23 a seat and whatnot. So that goes back to what I was saying earlier. I'm encouraging everybody, both small and large businesses and whatnot, to really begin to just look at yourself, look at yourself as a one-man team or as a business, as a conglomerate, you know what I mean? And you're building up, you're a unicorn business, a one-man army, or a two-man, or a three-man, or a four-man. But the days of us plugging ourselves into corporate America, when you see how they're dropping the axe, when you see how they're treating us, when you see what happened with DEI, and then, you know, Look at the irony in all of that. We're such kind-hearted people that we didn't even get petty and whatnot with the rest of the world. Because when the DEI was happening, everybody was somewhat mum. They were laughing under their, you know what I mean? They was laughing in private and whatnot, and they was clowning. But then that same axe dropped on their heads. Okay, that same axe start dropping on their heads and whatnot, and they're getting beheaded everywhere in America. And you know, now what? You know what I'm saying? So instead of being petty, what are we doing? We're focusing on how to boss up, how to level up, and how to take our power back. Right? How many people in the building are using Claude right now? How many people in the building are using Claude?
I am.
I am.
Definitely, definitely.
Yes, yes. And that's a part of the Imaginarium and whatnot. Claude is our friend
Every day.
every day. So what I'm doing right here is I'm going to drop 100 Claude power tips, the ultimate reference from marketing to automation, 5 categories with 20 tips each. Your complete cheat sheet for building with Claude Code, right? Now, there's Claude and then there's Claude Code, right? Claude Code is the daddy, Claude Chat is the child, and Claude Cowork is the adult, or rather the it's Claude Cowork would be the wife, Claude Code is the father, and regular Claude is the child. That's the best way to just break that down. You know what I mean? Without confusing anyone, because there was a in the beginning I was confused. I was like, what are they talking about? And I didn't have it on my desktop, or I didn't have the desktop app. That's what you have to download. It's a desktop app. It's free, but it's from Claude. Because if you're only using Claude.com, you're not unleashing the full power of this very, very powerful tool and whatnot. Once you download it, it'll open up on your desktop, and then it has the 3 options on top: Claude, Claude Code, Claude Cowork, right? So I'll do a demonstration for you on what that looks like before we get out of here. If not, I'll do it the next time. But here's some assistance, right? It's gonna help you do what? This is just a prompt. You know what I'm saying? This is just a prompt. Are these prompts or are these skills? These are prompts. Yeah, these are prompts. So all you got to do is highlight it and then drop it in. So hashtag strategy. It will say research the top 30 hashtags for skateboarding. It's any niche on Instagram, categorized by reach, broad, medium, and niche, right? So then once you get them hashtags and you find out what's working and whatnot, that becomes your hashtags. Okay. So ad copy machine, you could turn it into an ad copy machine. You describe your offer and your audience, right? And then you get Facebook, Google, and LinkedIn ad copy variants with character counts built in, right? Claude is just going to do that automatically. You want a newsletter template? No problem. Create a reusable newsletter skeleton in HTML that Claude Code fills weekly with your curated links in your commentary. So I get newsletters every day from these AI companies, a ton of them, right? And I'll be like, damn, I wish I had time to do stuff like I want to put a newsletter out, but this looks like a lot of research, man. These people are up. They probably get up at 4 a.m. I went and watched one of these workshops. No, that's not how they doing it. The dude was showing how it was automated. You know what I mean? He was like, I don't even touch my newsletter. I just send it links. I got a whole automation pipeline and whatnot. And yeah, it was mind blowing, you know? It was mind blowing. So these prompts and with Claude working is a monster. It's a monster combination because it's gonna do what it says it's gonna do, you know? um Lead generation and outbound. So you're talking cold emails, clay enrichment, ICP builders, LinkedIn funnels, and outbound playbooks, right? This is golden right here, especially if you're in business, if you're knee deep in business, If you work in corporate America, once again, if you in corporate America, it is what it is. Like, salute. What I want to do is I want to help to make you the coldest dude in the office, the coldest sister in the office. I don't want I want them to be like, we can't get rid of Mr. Charles and whatnot, because the way that they putting on, they moving like a robot. Like they are essential. This is an essential worker. And then other people who they see as replaceable will be replaced. You feel me? Like, please refrain from asking your CEO, what is AI? And how do I do, you know what I mean? Because it seems as if the CEOs and the bosses of these corporate entities and whatnot, they have somewhat been put under a spell. They're putting them under this AI spell. They're putting, because remember, we're talking capitalism. So anytime you can entice somebody that don't like to put money out there, like they don't like to payroll, you know what I'm talking about? They don't like to kick out bread, especially to no melanated people, right? They are finding out, they are salivating at ways to replace you so they could save their quote unquote, they could get more money in their bonus, so they could have more bottom line and whatnot, and satisfy their shareholders. So in a sense, they're now scanning the office to see, all right, this person does not know shit about AI. They're the first one to go. Now, this young person right here with the red hair and the blue hair and whatnot, even though they're kind of, you know what I mean? That's the person. Those are the people that we're looking at now, because those are the people who we may, you know what I mean? Those will be the tech savvy ones. Those are the divergents, right? So, what do you want to do? You want to upskill. You want to utilize something like Claude. I'm not asking you to go to Link. I'm not asking you to go to Corsica. I'm not asking you to sign up for certification programs. Although, although in the chat, Makdi Ali L said, get the Claude certifications free to upskill to upbill, right? That's a bar right there. When you upskill, you upbill. What does upbilling mean? When you got all of these certifications and you bill somebody and you invoice them, you could invoice them. You could do what you know what I mean. You could send them that good invoice based off of the fact that you have upskilled. You know what I mean? They're gonna understand what that means. That's how corporate America works. Oh, this person got all of these things. Okay, so it's not like, so it's just a shift taking place in the workspace where now degrees and all of that is out the window and certificates, accreditations are in the window now. Okay? And you could get that online. You don't got to go into nobody's institution no more. You could sit back and take an online course and then get a certification, put that bitch on LinkedIn. You feel me? Attach that to your name and whatnot, and now you leveled up. Don't have in your bio that you built an app, huh? Don't have that in your bio that you built the app. You feel me? You really bossed up. Okay. Shout out to Miss Lakeisha. Shout out to everybody in the building who are now bona fide certified app developers, what we would call founders and builders. That holds a lot of weight right now. Trust me when I tell you, it could be a simple tool that you built on Google Opal. Just put it in your bio though. Let people know that I'm a builder. I'm an app developer. That's holding a little bit of weight. We got to know how to read the room and understand the language to start speaking and whatnot, that these people are going to pay attention, because if you speak an antiquated language, they're going to cut you faster. So LinkedIn funnel system, pain point extractor. I love this. Pain point extractor. Okay. Claude Code extracts recurring complaints you can address in outreach, right? A ROI calculator builder. Describe your service metrics. Claude Code builds an interactive ROI calculator as an HTML artifact for prospects. How many people in the SKOOL community was able to tap into the calculator that we put in there?
I did.
You did it.
Yeah,
How did you enjoy? How did that work for you?
it was good. It was nice. It was 5.5, and I was saying that sometimes I forget or don't understand how much I should charge people
Mm-hmm.
for my services because I'm go through different things. Like I can do the financial side of it, I can do the marketing side of it, but I can also do the operations. So, and then there's lease negotiations, contract negotiations. So I get a little stumbled because I have so many different skills that I have experience in.
Okay.
So that it was real helpful, very helpful.
Can you briefly let the family know what you've been able to do over the past few months with your training?
Sure. So, part of my job, I'm a director of commercial operations for a real estate company. So I pretty much do all of property management and operationals. So a lot of small businesses, and I'm able to identify because I actually work with small businesses and commercial businesses, and so they always end up failing because of not knowing how to budget properly and not even operating their business properly. And so they're always struggling and they end up closing or they end up needing help. They got to try to find grants. And of course, with today's climate, all of those grants aren't available because some of the nonprofits have been their funds have been cut in half. So everybody's trying to get around that. So what I did, I was like, you know what, I need to build an app to help them budget. And so not only do I want to help them budget, but I also want to help them identify those outliers and those alerts when something needs to change. And so I did a budget program. I talked to Claude. We went back and forth on what I wanted, and I should have I did it that way but without a lot of details. So I got the beginning code when I went to Lovable, but I brought that code over to Claude and I started talking to Claude more. And I've been back like 3 times now, and I'm on like version 3. But what I kind of stepped back and had Claude to like re-examine everything. So I told it to evaluate the code, and this time let's one pay attention and make sure I had the right financial structure because it's a SaaS. And then I also want to make sure that I'm not missing anything from that my competitors have or anything that they don't have. I was like, I need to differentiate my product from their product. So of course, based on what I have, they pulled up QuickBooks and they pulled up maybe 4 other companies. And so there were just a few things that they didn't have, but there was a lot of stuff that I have at a better price point that can get their customers to come over to me. And so I built that. I built a little bit of budget tips in there. I've also did something with contract management in there. Um, I did a little thing of like what if scenarios, like what if in the future my rent goes up 10%, what that projection is going to look like. So I put a bunch of different layers in there. And every time I talk about it, something else always comes up in my head. But this is going back to what I do every day at work. So I'm adding all of that in there from a large corporation and making it available to small businesses who don't have the finances to be able to afford that type of software. So that's what I've been doing.
What exactly gave you that idea to even pursue that? Was it just, what was your eureka moment?
Well, I've always so since COVID happened, I had already started doing some consulting.
Yes.
And so that was one of the outliers there. There were so many people who just they didn't know how to pivot. They didn't have any ideas. They didn't know like from a marketing perspective, they just, like at in this current environment, they're still trying to rely on places like Uber and Uber Eats and DoorDash and things like that. And those are hefty bills. They're paying like $4,000 a month to market just on those platforms. And they can't really afford it. Like they can't pay their rent. Like, so I'm coming across that a lot. And it's always the smaller business. It's not the franchises. It's the small everyday business, mom and pops, even some of the little Asian carryouts and places like that. It's always those particular businesses who are struggling, and they're struggling hard. And mind you, I'm in DC, so the cost of living here is very high. So not only do they have those issues here, but we have also issues where a lot of the commercial businesses, especially in the downtown area, has they're transitioning to residential because so many people are going remote, but also the government is shut down. That everybody's consolidating, so they have all of these assets out in DC, down in the downtown area, the real big business district, that they don't have enough people, so they can't survive down there. So now everybody are trying to find different ways to stay afloat because they're not in a position to retire. So I was like, you know what? I have all of these skills. This is what I do, but I do it on the behalf of the landlord, not on the behalf of the tenant. So let me flip it. Let me help them out at the same time, because I don't want to see them like a lot of them are really good people. They're not bad people. They're just trying to survive like the rest of us. And because the landlords are predatory, and unfortunately, yes, I have to play that game. But at the same time, I talk to them on the back end like, hey, come back at this and do this and do this. And some of them listen, some of them don't. Some of them kind of drag their feet. But that was the premise of why I wanted to do something like this, so that they can have those things available to them. And then I'm going to flip it and remix it for households.
Dope. Dope. Thank you so much for that demonstration. That is priceless because what you've shown is that, what I've been saying for so long, that um the plus for any of us getting into the AI is to be inside of corporate, to have the skills, to understand the system, to understand the lexicon, and then all we have to do is start to reverse engineer. And to reverse engineer, that's where the AI comes in, because the AI is going to make your reverse engineering process very frictionless, right? Versus you having to go to the library, you got to go to Barnes and Nobles and buy all these books, you got to hire consultations, you got to hire an expert, you might have to get mentored. It is going to run a lot of quote unquote funds up and a lot of time that everybody working a 9 to 5 doesn't have and whatnot. But now, if you get yourself acclimated to these systems, once again, you cannot approach a Claude with the beginner's mindset to say, "Oh yeah, I've been playing with it for 30 minutes. I'm a master." No, no, that's not how that works. These are tools similar to if you picked up a power tool and whatnot. You're not able to master a power tool with one hold. If you're, they have people who have carpenter degrees. You feel me? They have to basically upskill and learn the methods and things of that nature. And that's all you got to do with these things. It's not hard at all, but you're going to have to put in some time, and it's very hands on. Like Lakeisha said, she's iterating her app. She built it in Lovable, and now she's rebuilding it in Claude. Okay. And then if something comes out after Claude that's going to help strengthen it even more, she's going to iterate and rebuild it. So we do build and destroy over here, right? Everything that we build, we're ready to destroy it to build it up even better. Nothing is forever. You know what I'm saying? But iteration is how you make things bigger and stronger, similar to how you have an Xbox One or a PlayStation 1, and then it's a PlayStation 5. What did they do to one? They destroyed it. They destroyed it so they could have two, and they destroyed two so they could have three, and they destroyed three so they could have four, or rather, they iterated, or what they would call recursions, right? They just upgraded it. So let me drop this.
Can I add something?
Of course you can.
One more thing. Any certifications that you took that over the years that you took and you got workbooks for, plug it all in. I did that whole thing. I still had my workbooks from real property administration, from budget and accounting. I took those PDFs and I fed them all to Claude.
Mm-hmm.
And that
That
helped me build the app out and also pull out some techniques and definitely go back to see what the other competition was offering and what they weren't, because their stuff is pretty much operational. I mean, financial. They didn't really have any operational stuff, and that's where I had the advantage.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So why, so and then of course for the 100,000 or what they would say the 1 million people that got cut or got let go and whatnot, s- you got time now. You got time, and that's a plus to have time on your hand because now you have time to focus on building your thing up, you know? So what they would try to tell us is a negative, not necessarily a negative. It's all about perspective and the way that they're framing everything. They are skewering the perspective, and they have people living thinking in lack, thinking like you lost something, thinking like you have to get on the hamster wheel, you got to get a job, you got to get employed, you have to be on these. No, you don't. You do not. You actually don't. You got to be disciplined. You feel me? You got to be disciplined, and you have to have some type of you got to have some drive. Discipline and a drive is going to take your ass very far in this new quote unquote world that we're in, you know? But mess around and find yourself a small team that you could work with. You're out of here. You're out of here. Okay? So, real quick, do y'all see this where it says top 60 Claude skills, workflows?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, yes.
So this is another gift that we're gonna be giving away. It's 4-4, so we gotta act up, right? But this is for y'all. 60 Claude skills. Now, Claude skills, that's where the magic happens, right? That's where the magic happens. So, Claude skills is the equivalent of what they call Chat GPT custom GPTs, or Gemini has gems, and Claude skills is literally a workflow that you turn into an automated agent that will work. You don't have to. You like, let's say that you have a prompt. You're using prompts, and these prompts are building out. Um, you were writing an ebook, and you were using the prompt to basically write things out and layer it and structure it and everything. You could turn that into a skill, and then the next book that you write, you just say, hey, I want to write this new ebook, backslash skills ebook. And then you might drop after that, then you might put what the whole premise of the book is. It's a book about a boy, da 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 da. Press enter, and that's what start the process. It's gonna start asking questions. It's gonna get to it and whatnot, and then you'll go from that prompt to a finished product with the skill, right? And they have built-in skills now. People are building skills and then putting it into the skills store and what. So there's a lot of skills that are literally considered to be like cheat codes. So real quick, these are this list right here, this repo that I'm about to drop in the chat. Is going to give you the AI coding agents, right? And the IDEs, okay? So this is the magic. This is where the agents come alive. This is where the AI works for you. This is where you could get building done. This is where you could build your ideas, turn ideas into products. You could and you'll see the workflow taking place right in front of you. You'll see the agents working right in front of you. Okay. Um, it reads code, it reads files, it runs tests, it operates directly in your local environment. All right. So they will put Claude Code at the top. Then you have Cursor. They just came out with a new version yesterday. Codex CLI. Okay. That's OpenAI. That's ChatGPT's parent company. Windsurf. Here is the superpowers, 20 battle tested Claude Code skills. 20 plus battle tested Claude Code skills. Let's go there and see what it looks like. right? So this is the skills. Once again, you could read when you go into GitHub. For anybody that doesn't know what GitHub is a website that is literally the repository of millions and millions and millions of different code or millions and millions of different solutions. Look at this. This is the best site on the internet right now, hands down, for anybody that's trying to get to it. You know what I'm talking about? GitHub. I didn't say the other hub. GitHub is the best site on the internet right now, hands down. Why? Because it's free game. I just click on this, I click on the code, then I click on copy URL, right? Let me see if I could pull up my Claude. Claude, where you at? Let me see. It's acting like it want to hide from me or something. Mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, let me pull up Claude because my app is acting funny. It might be because I don't have no room on my damn computer. Can y'all see my Claude?
No.
Okay. Can y'all see it now?
No, not yet.
No, we still see GitHub.
So I grabbed the GitHub, the repository or the code, right? And now I'm over here. This is a Claude. This ain't like how everybody's Claude looks, but I have something called AIPRM, and it's basically like automated prompts and whatnot, and it has it looking crazy. Let me go to a new chat. I'm gonna drop the prompt in there. So
I
what
miss
this is,
I miss what you just went over. My brother actually just called me with a business proposition from a
oh wow,
contractor that's doing he does houses, he remodels houses, and I helped my brother do some designs in his house, some
that
remodeling. So the guy asked if I was looking for some extra money that maybe we could collaborate because he need like new designs for remodels and stuff. So got another customer.
see how God work. So I was just showing everybody how I went over to GitHub and I grabbed some code, and I'm gonna just show them how you can install it. I grabbed a skill, right? I'm taking everybody to what the skills are, and then I'm asking it to install the skill from GitHub. And what it will do is it'll take the skill and it'll basically install it into my Claude. And once it's installed, then I'll be able to summon it or whatever these skills are, is just gonna build up my Claude. So think about skills like vitamins. It's gonna make your Claude stronger. It's gonna make your Claude it's gonna give it more superpowers, right? Um, it's gonna beef it up. So it's almost like pimp my ride and whatnot. The skills are basically taking your basic Claude because everybody starts out with a basic Claude, and it adds um you know it adds upgrades to it. Okay. So before it does any type of installation, you basically could, or you could drop it in Claude and then you could say, hey, what is this? Break it down, right? I need to know what this is. Explain this to a 5 year old, right? So it's giving me all of this breakdown, okay? And then it's asking me, do I want to install it? And I would say, yeah. So it's telling me what I'm getting. I'm getting a brainstorming skill, right? It brainstorms for me. Okay. Then I'm getting writing plans, right? Then I'm getting task driven development, requesting code review. All of these different skills are going to be a part of what it is called the superpowers. Okay. 14 skills, right? Just for me going right to GitHub and copying something, you feel me? Copying something and then bringing it over to Claude. And now I have the opportunity to put it into my Claude's, into my Claude, my personal Claude, which is going to give it more powers, which is going to help me get more solutions faster, work smarter, and not harder, right? And that's just one GitHub repository. There's thousands of them that do multiple things and whatnot. Um, so yeah, let's go back to GitHub.
Yeah, that was a tricked out Claude with all the fancy.
Yeah. That's a tricked out Claude right
Yeah.
there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I might be like, what the hell is I never see that. Yeah, this is definitely the tricked out Claude. Um, do y'all see back on GitHub?
Not yet.
Buffering.
Okay. Let me go back. So, but keep in mind, I shared the I shared it's not just one, it's like 60 different skills. So let's just keep that in mind. You know, you'll have a lot to do after this class in terms of perusing through these free upgrades that we're given.
I'm
You know?
glad we're going over it because that was one of the things I wanted to ask you because I have some stuff that I want to add into Claude in the skills part, and I wasn't sure how to do.
Yeah. You could build your own skill. Now, you see where this thing says MD, where they have the detailed docs and it's docs readme dot codex dot MD.
It hasn't come
Yeah,
up
it's
for
not
me.
up yet.
It's
Oh,
still
It's still
buffering. Talking about
buffering.
the markdown.
yes, that the MD means the markdown file. That is something that we all should be focusing on when dealing with Claude because it's almost like .jpeg or .pdf. That is the language that they understand. That's the language in which you basically can feed your Claude. That's going to be the I'm looking for the word. That's just the way that's how it reads the files. Okay, .md. So I'll show you how to make a markdown file. It's the same way like making a regular WordPress, I mean Word document and stuff like that. But once again, when you go into these this is called a repo, right? This is called a repo. When you go on GitHub and you go to a repo and whatnot, you want to scroll down and then you want to go to what's called README, right? The README is going to tell you everything that you're looking at because, of course, what the hell is this? Nobody knows what all of this. You'll be like, man, I'm out of here. This doesn't even mean anything. No, go down to what they call README, and you'll understand fully what's going on and what it is that they have offers, right? What it is that these apps can do. And then here's the basic workflow, right? So it's breaking it down, right? So here's the key. This is what I would do. I will highlight this. I will copy and paste this, right? Then I will go somewhere like Claude and I would say, I would tell it to explain. No, this is what I would tell it to do. Especially for those of us that are looking to monetize our AI, right? We're looking to monetize the Claude. We're trying to get to the bag. Okay. Give me 10 income stream ideas from each of new skills. Right? So a better way to kind of like figure out what you can do with these repos and whatnot. How can it help you? How can you monetize it instead of like trying to sit around, smoke a blunt, and think of an idea? Nah, you want to get right to it. You want to know exactly what it is that you can do with these skills and whatnot to basically to upgrade your situation, to monetize your situation, to take it into your business and whatnot, so you could put it out there to your customers or your prospects as to what it is that you could do for them. Okay. And as you can see with Claude, they're talking to me like they know me, right? It's speaking to me as if it knows me. Okay. And the only reason it is doing that is because I've uploaded documents into Claude to basically get them familiar with me. You know what I mean? Notebook LM. I'll take you over to Notebook real quick when we're done with this and just show you what Notebook does. But the Notebook LM has been instrumental in me uploading 300 videos of myself, getting the transcripts from those videos, or just talking to the Notebook LM as to, they know who you are because your videos are right there. If you don't have YouTube videos, you would want to upload your LinkedIn profile, your Instagram profile. If you don't have a digital footprint, your resume. If you don't have a resume, anything that will basically speak as to that will let the AI know or Claude know, who you are. If you don't have no digital footprint, I'm going to show you where you could go in the back office and just start writing you who either who you are or who you want to be. How about that? It could be who you want to be, and have the
Mm.
and it's the Napoleon Hill thing. Have the AI speak to you, like you to, what I mean, speak to your future self or your higher self. You know what I'm saying? And that way, it'll be like, damn, nobody in the world talks to me like this because they don't know, they don't see me like this. But the Claude does. The Claude is going to talk to you the way that you tell it to see you.
Yeah, I'm using my astrology report and also my cardology report,
Yes.
and feeding that along with my resume and skills, and so that it can, because I like to take things from an astrological perspective,
Yes.
and that, so I wanted to learn me that way, so everything that I output comes out like that. So that's why I was happy with what Manus did with the revamp of my website that I still need to um activate, but it did a really good job at it.
Dope. So check this out. In the same time that we was just talking and whatnot, if anybody, just to show you how powerful this Claude thing, this is nothing like ChatGPT. ChatGPT doesn't even have the same UI or the user interface like this. It's very inferior, right? So they gave me 7 skills with 70 income streams, right? So Spark mentality, Spark methodology, sell a Spark masterclass. 5 phase AI assistance developer course for non-technical founders who want to ship real software. And that's like mid, you know what I mean? Then they got high, charge 2,500 to 5K to run a client's idea through the full specification completion cycle in 5 days. Then they have put the template pack on Gumroad. Downloadable phase by phase document templates for solo developers and AI builders. This is entry level. The Spark and the God Workshop. The God stands for Generator Operator Destroyer. Map the 5 Spark phases to Generator Operator Destroyer roles and sell as a team productivity session. Okay. Um, the YouTube series. YouTube series. The Spark audit. The YouTube series is Build It with Spark, right? And what is that? A live build, right? So I'm vibe coding, right? A live build of a SaaS product through each phase on camera, monetize via AdSense and sponsorships. So that's kind of like easy and whatnot, right? That's kind of like, and so I have to give you the acronym for Spark. And Spark is specification, pseudocode, architecture, refinement, and completion. Okay. It is a framework for prompt engineering. Okay. It's used to structure how AI models approach complex coding or engineering tasks systematically. Okay. And it also is an acronym for Scholarly Publishing and Academic Resources Coalition. Okay. Scholarly Publishing and Academic Resources Coalition. So, frameworks are very important, similar to how frameworks are very essential in any form of building and whatnot, because it is the skeleton. It is the quote unquote, it's basically the rules at which the computer is operating. So you give it a framework and it knows how to move or it knows how to research. It's following your rules. Okay. It's following your rules. Swarm orchestration, I'm not going to go through all 70. I'm just showing you. Triple AI agency swarm builds, productize swarm setup as a 3K AK agency deliverable, deploy a custom 5 agent OS for each client, right? So with the Claw bot or with open Claw in my business, I'm going to have a Claw bot for every client. I'm going to have a Mac mini for every client that I get. You feel me? It's gonna be they're gonna have their own computer. They're gonna have their own quote unquote. So when I work on with my client and I work on their work, I'll plug in their quote unquote Clawbot and it'll have everything about them on it. I won't even mix it up with what I'm doing. You know? Um, but yeah, look forward to building yourself an agency, especially if you have somebody on your team that is proficient in agentic AI, or let's say we're going to take the whole POD perspective, the pod perspective. You might be a generator mind state. Somebody may have the operator mind state. Somebody may have a destroyer mind state. You run a 3-man or 4-man team, you can knock down walls right now. Because everybody don't got to do everything. Okay. High ticket, the Hive Mastermind, a high ticket group where each member builds their own swarm powered business, $500 a month membership. YouTube, I ran my business on AI swarms for 30 days. You document the experiment, you grow your audience, and you funnel to paid products. Swarm and the Facts Initiative, position swarm orchestration as the technical backbone of community run AI education programs. So as you can see, it's just like conscious community skill, right? Conscious community streaming subscription, episode sponsorship packages, book the guest consulting services, interview prep kits, docu-series production course, conscious community events, licensing to schools and organizations, companion study guides, merch tied to episode themes, co-production partnerships. See how that works? I could go through, yeah, it's the YouTube research, remotion. So remotion is a skill that I have that basically makes videos automatically. Like it'll cut a video up with a prompt. I don't even have to do animation and editing and whatnot. They have something called remotion. It's a skill in Claude, and it basically it took me about 15 to 20 minutes to set up, but not 30 minutes. But once I got it set up, I literally could make videos. I could make commercials and whatnot with a prompt. Okay. So that's what we have with all of this. Okay. Then there's the skill builder. That's very good. The skill builder, custom skill design. So once you learn how to build the skills, now you can monetize that. Build your own skill workshop. You could build a skill marketplace, skill builder boot camp, skill audit and redesign. So you could review a client's existing automation stack and you could rebuild it as a structured, discoverable Claude skill ecosystem. Skill as product model course. Teach creators to turn their signature frameworks into sellable Claude skills. 297 digital product. Skill Builder YouTube series, AI Skill Agency. All of these, it probably sound like Chinese that I'm talking right now, but trust me, once you get your hands in the dirt and start tilling that soil, you're gonna be like, I got it. Can you only do this in a web version of Claude? Nah. I think it goes through all. Nah, you could do it on your phone version. You could do it on your mobile phone. I believe it's but you're gonna get the most out of skills by definitely tapping in to the desktop version. This is going to give you three versions of Claude: Claude Code, Claude Cowork, and Claude Regular, like regular Claude. You know what I'm saying? When you want to do any type of coding work, you utilize Claude Skills. When you want to do any type of Claude Skills work and whatnot, and just regular work, and it's not high level, it's not coding and whatnot, you use Claude Cowork. If you just want to chat to the chat bot, if you just want to ask a regular question, or if you want to brainstorm about some stuff, you go to regular Claude. You go to regular Claude, and there you have it. Okay, that's kind of how that works. Um,
Hey, Red, I have a quick question for you.
yes, ma'am.
Um, I'm just curious. Say, for example, you get the cloud boxes up and running for your different clients and stuff,
Yes.
and it's going smooth, over the years or whatever, and they decide that they want to move on to something else because of technology, whatever the reason may be. Who owns that data, and how would you handle the price of
You
that? How they
right,
buy you out?
right. So you can actually sell them the data, um, but you own the data because you purchased the Clawbot, so you own the masters, right? You're purchasing of the Clawbot, so incorporate in your fee for your client the fee for the Clawbot. So the Clawbot might start at 500. That's in the client fee. So if the client ever backs out, they already basically paid for the hardware, right? You and if they want their data and whatnot, they can have their data. But in the meantime, between time, in the contract, when it's up front, it's already known. You own the data. This is your data. This is your machine, and things of that nature. They're basically outsourcing to you. But then there also could be a clause that when they if they want to terminate, there'll be a fee for them to retrieve their data and whatnot. And then boom, you could just wipe the computer clean and start with a new client.
Okay.
So you'll never really lose. You just wipe it clean and then you'll start with a new client and then you just start from there. But you are definitely the owner of the data. The arbitrage in Clawbot over Claude with a D is that with the open claw or the Clawbot, it's going to be the data that you're going to start accumulating through using it, right? Through building it up. That data is going to become very valuable in the future. So and nobody wants their information to be used to train LLMs or AI slop and whatnot. You don't want your information. You don't want your ideas. You don't want your frameworks. I don't want none of that being fed to these quote unquote capitalistic conglomerates. I want it to be with me and my people. So that's where open source comes in. That's where you know, utilizing local models and stuff. That's where that comes in. That's where the clawbots definitely come in because I'm not sharing my information with none of these people when I'm using clawbot. Claude is another thing, but with the clawbot, I got it for myself. And now that they leaked Claude code, I'm not even gonna be using Claude. I'm just waiting for my subscription that I paid for to run out. But once that's done, I'm going to the leaked version of Claude code that I have that is basically inside of my Clawbot, and it's not attached to their company anymore.
So is that one of the things you're going over this evening?
With the 10 Claude commandments,
Yes.
no. I'm not going over the Claude. I'm not going to be going over the Claude code, But I'm going over everything with the Clawbot. Yeah, I'm going over that. I'm going over the advantages of having it local. What does that mean? What does having your own data mean? I'm going through all of that. I'm breaking all of that down. How you could summon the agents, what the heartbeat is. I'll go through all of that. You feel me? Because for those of us that joined the 72-hour boot camp on the 18th to the 20th, we won't even have to go through any of that. We could get right to the work because I'll be able to deal with that today and subsequently leading up to the 18th. They'll have the basics already laid out. I'm getting that out the way. You know what I'm saying? So we have time in those 72 hours to actually build something. That's where the fun part is when you start building stuff. So yeah,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. But yeah, GitHub, y'all, GitHub, definitely, um, one of the best sites out there. I won't call it, maybe it's not the best site, but definitely one of the best sites on the whole entire internet, for sure, hands down. You know, the solutions are here. Uh, and it's not speculatory. It's like this is where the billionaires are at. You
Uh,
know, it's where the billionaires are at. You feel me? So they there for a reason. And I'm where they at right now. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out what's popping, like what was going on over here. You know? So just explore it. It's a market. They got a marketplace. Am I sharing this?
um, can we also get that link for the Claude skills for the GitHub too? Did you drop that yet or no?
Did I?
I don't think so.
Okay, let me drop that. Okay, the superpowers. Let me put that in there. Miss Aisha, do you have something that you want to share with us today, by any
Oh,
chance?
you know, and I'm still trying to finish up my trademarks and copyrights and all that
Okay.
is, but I would love to show my YouTube channel, but I'm still working on videos. I'm still editing, but I'll if it happens in the middle of the week, I'll post something in school, like the launcher. But I would like to even do it in class if I can. Hopefully by next class, I would love to
Okay.
be able to launch that site. And,
You
but
good. You
I'm
good.
working on it.
No
Working on it.
pressure.
Yeah, CapCut and all that. Oh, and
You out
Canva.
here cooking.
I'm doing all these. I'm learning all these new things, editing, and I'm a lawyer now apparently.
You a
Setting up
lawyer, right?
operating
All of a
agreements with the
sudden.
bank, opening up business accounts. I opened up two business accounts yesterday. Like,
That's right.
are you
That's
serious?
right.
Well, I
You
hit
feel me?
EINs and
That's right.
yeah, I'm
Cause once
doing
you
it.
do it, cause once you do it, it's done.
It's done. It's true. It's done.
It's
But yeah,
like now if you gotta do it again, you like, where I gotta go? What's up?
yeah, no, I would have to say Claudie. Claudie is my coworker, so
Yeah,
I'm
you
getting a
use
lot of help from
Claudine.
Claudie. So
Right.
definitely,
Claudine or Claudie?
Claudie, Claudie,
Claudie.
Claudie, Claudie.
So here is
God.
7 new AI tools that will save you hours of work, more tools, you know what I mean? Um these are definitely some game changers. You know, look at Sam crying. Yeah, it's over, Sam. It's over, man. Wrap it up. Luma, okay? Luma AI. We went to Luma last week when we made a comic strip. Remember that? And Luma is a monster. Let me click on Luma. Luma has AI agents that work for it, and those agents basically, you know, they'll do the work for you. Okay, so gone are the days where you had to do everything yourself. Okay, do y'all see Luma? Did it go there?
Yes. Yeah, we see it.
Okay, so
Yes.
gone are the days where you basically got to do things on your own. You now have agents you just have to have the idea. So boom, these are now one stop. These are like click and go, right? These are basically all of these little things right here are just like one click. Okay. You don't have to write the prompt anymore. You just upload the picture and you click it. So animation reveal, the animator logo reveal. So if you have a logo and you want to animate it, you go over here. You want to create different headshot varieties, you go and click on that. You want to transform any scene, you click on that. You want to create a character with unique looks, you just click on that. It's going to do everything for you. You want to create an infographic, click on that. You want to build a slide deck, mute your phone, please. You want to create a tech pitch deck, you click on this. You know, it tells you how it works. It's gonna walk you through everything. So it's not gonna leave you out there. It's basically like you're gonna be in class. You're gonna learn all of these things. You feel me? It's gonna show you all of these things and how to do it. Okay. Um, Let me just show y'all what it did for me last week. I said I wanted to create a cartoon, and I just came up with an idea right there. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I wanted to create a cartoon of the five pillars of hip hop, right? And I basically wanted to make the five pillars of hip hop different personalities from different parts around the world and whatnot. So I gave it my crazy idea, and while we was in class, while we were talking, while we was building, it was building for me. And it created these cartoons and whatnot, a whole cartoon strip, right? I didn't give it no artwork. I didn't do anything. I just gave it an idea, and it knocked it out. It knocked it out just like that, you know? Of course, I could go and tweak it and iterate on it. You feel me? But most of the work is already done. You know, most of the work is already done. And if I see something that I want to change, I just click on it. I might want to relabel it. I could change the frame color. I could create a new frame around it. I could download this one picture, right? So I encourage all of my creators to basically put comic strips, build out a either YouTube or build out a IG page and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And you'd be surprised how many people will be attached to it. We was all I mean, not we was all, but when I was younger, comics was my thing. I was into comics all day, you know? As long as the writing is good, you'll capture the imagination of your niche or your demographics or whoever you're aiming for. The young boys wearing a black.
So, Red, you mean to tell me that it created all these melanated characters and put the comic strip captions in there too, the storyline for you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
I did all of that while we was in class, just talking. I didn't tell her what type of melanated characters. Well, I tweaked this one dude right here. This one character. I just tweaked him. I said give him a neck tattoo. But that was it. Him right here. Gave him a neck tat. And that was the only thing. But all of this is what they created. He's from the UK. This kid right here is from the UK. This dude right here is from Japan, right? Because I said give us a global hip hop cast, right? Because I didn't want to just keep it America. I said hip hop is global now. Give us a whole global cast of who our culture has influenced, because we're gonna come together like Voltron and fight against the evil corporation, whatever the storyline is, But it's giving me all of that personality, all of these things, you know. So it's giving me my character development. She's from Brazil. He's from Georgia. This kid is from Atlanta, Georgia. That's why I was like, well, why he don't got a neck tat? Because niggas got neck tats out here. She's from Nigeria. Lagos, you know? But yeah, that's what it's doing. This is Luma Agents, you know? Check it out. Check it out. Okay, let's go to the next app. I was just giving y'all a little and this is, as y'all can see, this is called Node. This is node based. This is a different type of this environment where the characters are being created. This is like this is kind of like the template that a lot of artists are using. On yesterday's workshop, I had my good brother come through, and he was showing everybody how to create with node based technology and whatnot. So a lot of artists, a lot of creators, they're utilizing the nodes, right? This looks like a storyboard. Like if I took you to a animation studio and whatnot, this is kind of the layout that you'll see. They're not utilizing like a Hicksfield type of layout. They're utilizing storyboards. So this is more of a storyboard and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? You know. So yeah. Let's go to the next one. Sky Snail. For everybody that wants to create thumbnails and whatnot, Sky Snail is for thumbnails, for YouTube, and the other ones. Cause I be on YouTube and I'm like, somebody they're using the same program, cause a lot of these, like, where they getting these thumbnails from? And lo and behold, they have sites where you could go and create thumbnails. They even have sites where you could take somebody's thumbnail that you like a Mr. Beast or something, and you literally could be like, "Yo, put me in that thumbnail. Take them out and put me in," and they'll do that. They'll make your thumbnail look like theirs. Because keep in mind, when you click on a video, you're clicking on a video because of the thumbnail and the title most of the time. So if you master your thumbnail game, you're gonna see an increase in members, increase in subscribers, increase in your clicks and whatnot. You know what I mean? And I will go to a channel that's doing millions, like millions of subscribers, and I will copy their thumbnails. Maybe not for my main channel, but let's say that I'm starting these faceless channels and I'm targeting a niche and whatnot. Oh nah, it's over. I'm going with these thumbnails. Let's say that I want to create a channel that's going to get white eyes and whatnot. I'm going to go to the channels that they are the thumbnails for the channels that are booming and whatnot. Joe Rogan, wherever the white eyes are glued to, and I'm gonna flip their thumbnails and I'm gonna use it to my advantage. Thumbnails are very important in terms of social media, TikTok, IG, no TikTok, YouTube, IG, Facebook, and all of that. Okay. Here we got Open Claw. Open Claw, right? So Open Claw got a website. Um, Open Claw has a website, okay? And you basically could tap in and find out everything that you need to find out about them, okay? Because once again, it's so new, it's so elaborate. It's like it's hard to even explain everything that it does. You feel me? Like it's best to have these sessions where you could just show what it does. But it says the AI that actually does things, right? So once again, it's The same way that Chat GPT was like it was the face of the new AI, or it became the face of the chatbot to the point it became like a noun, right? That's the same way that OpenClaw is now the face of the agentic AI. Even though they got a whole bunch of them now, a whole bunch of, but this has become the Chat GPT of the new era of what the AI that can actually do something, because Chat GPT, it can't do nothing because it doesn't do anything before you do something. You got to ask it. It's a chat bot. It's chatting with you. So it's not doing anything. It's just answering your question. That's not really, but these agents, they're doing shit. They're booking flights. They're building websites. They're cleaning up your email. They got agents that are out there trading on the stock market or their version of it. You know what I'm saying? They got agents that are working and whatnot. It's doing things. So it's different. And that shifted everything. This is what people were waiting for. That changed everything and whatnot. So we're literally in the beginning of that era. It started in February. So we're in the beginning of this new era right now. Okay. This thing launched as soon as I came back from Colombia. Like the last day of my ceremony, I remember I did a thing called the final 9 to 5. And on the research that I was doing, I stumbled across Clawbot, and I didn't understand what it was. And then, like when I came back to America, That's when I was just introduced to this technology, and I've been tapped in ever since. Still learning it. You know what I mean? I'm still learning it. So when you click on, as you can see, when you click on the thing, it's going to take you. When you click on the Clawbot, it'll help you with getting started. It's going to show you all of the things that you need to know, even though, of course, it might look like, it's looking like, like, wait, what is going on? I don't understand. Trust, you'll be able to understand it better. I'm going to help you with the understanding of it. I don't want nobody to feel no type of way. I don't want nobody to feel what's the word? Intimidated by the new tech, because it's not intimidating, but it does so much that it's not just a one click type of thing. If you really you know what I'm saying, if you realize what that means, it's so state of the art in terms of what it can do. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of understanding. It shouldn't be easy, because what it's doing is not easy. It's doing some other ish. So yeah, that's Open Claw. Viral Sky. It turns a topic into a viral post in about 10 seconds, right? So this is also for anybody on the line, right? This is giving you some game. If you ever wanted to launch your product, right? Let's say that you built the product, because obviously whoever put this together, they built these two products. And all they're putting their products into the top seven tools and whatnot. It's genius. You feel me? It's genius, but he's inserting his tools into the top seven. You know what I mean? With the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? So to the unsuspecting eye, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, this is a part of all of it." No, it's not. I don't think that's what it is. I don't think Viral Sky and Skynail are up there with fucking Open Claw and Luma. But let's say that you launched a product and you want to get it out there, do a blog like this. Just make sure that your product is up there. Make sure your product has a great use case, and you could put it in a top 10 list with the big dogs and whatnot. That's a great way of having people check you out, you know? So I'm just peeping his strategy, and I'm sharing that. But that's a good way to get people familiar with what you're doing. Okay. So I could just look at the UI, and I'm like, yeah, you built this in Lovable, right? You built this on one of those code apps, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they all have similar aesthetics that you could basically look at and be like, yeah, you built that on one of those vibe coding apps. But here it goes. It works, right? If I click on the link, it's gonna take me to a payout page. So shit, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? He did what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Build out these apps and start marketing them. You know, this is a software as a service.
I grew from 0 to over 800,000 followers on my personal brand across several social media, plus my faceless pages to 1.5 million followers, which is about 2.3 million followers in total. And they continuously continue to grow. In this video, I'm gonna show you an AI tool that will help you achieve similar results and grow your first 10,000 followers, or if you already have a following, it will help you grow it even more.
All right, Remy. Claude Cowork. So we were just building on this. Claude Cowork is a collaborative AI workflow from Anthropic. You use Claude as a thinking partner to brainstorm, write, and solve tasks in real time. It's different from a standard chatbot because it's designed for working sessions. Unemployed, reemployed, self-employed, employed. It don't matter. This co-work is going to work with everybody. It's for workers. So ironically, if they're firing thousands and thousands of people, but they have a state of the art agent or a state of the art tool from a company that's almost at the top of the AI ladder, right? It overtook ChatGPT. What does that mean? It means that it works. It would not take over a multi-billion-dollar company if it didn't work. They're getting billions of dollars in funding as it is, so so something is working. It is, you know what I mean? It's functional. That's how these companies operate. They're not gonna throw money at something that don't work. So don't let these people play with you in your face. Don't let these people put you under a spell and whatnot. Don't let these people make you miss out on opportunities because the AI is working with you right now. They'll never tell black people that. They don't want you to know this. They don't want you to see it like that. So what are they doing? They are poisoning the narrative through mainstream media. Mainstream media doesn't get paid to say, hey, y'all got to check out Claude work. The shit is great. They don't get paid to do that. They don't do that. That would be like a commercial. That's what they get. We going to the commercial break, and then they'll have a commercial from Anthropic saying, "Hey, but the newscasters can't say that because they're not getting paid to say that. Because why would they say that? And there's competition out there. The people from OpenAI will call up and start complaining. Yo, that's insider trading. Y'all are favoring a company over ours. So the only thing that the news is able to do is give you the negative of everything. They cannot talk the positive because the positive is the advertising. The positive is what's paying these stations to stay alive. It's the commercials. It's the ads. So they cannot speak favorably. They cannot big it up. They have to figure out ways in order to do stuff like that. So they'll bring on somebody who built the company and they'll be like, hey, what did you build that with? Hey, I built that with Claude. Oh, what's Claude? Hey. That's how that works. But they're not going to sit down and read from a script to tell you, oh yeah, there's people being fired, but God damn it, there's also people being hired. They're hiring themselves. That's where we come in. We're not compromised. We're going to tell you what it is. We're going to show you how to do it. You know? So you hand off a task and it gives you a polished deliverable. Once again, you in the you in the 9 to 5. I need you to wow your boss. I need you to wow your manager. I need you to knock their block off and and be able to quote unquote come back with some results and whatnot. And they be like, damn, that was fast. Yeah, not, you don't give them the sauce. You keep cooking. It's useful for writing, research, planning, and any work where you need a back and forth thinking process. Okay. All right. So the next one is Descript. It's an audio and video editing tool where you edit by editing text. It describes your video, and when you delete a word from the transcript, it removes that part of the video. Okay, so Descript, I was using this years ago, and I think they've gotten even better, right? So literally, you just basically edit your videos through editing the text. Okay, and it's making videos of people that are talking like AI agents, right? These are like digital twins and whatnot. That lady right there in the middle, that's not a real person, okay? Or you could generate custom videos, AI generated, AI artwork looking videos. So yeah, boom, work smarter and not harder. That's Descript. Let's go to the next tool. AI trends. Oh, so he got 3 apps inside this bitch. AI trends. See, he's not even savvy with it. I'd have put an AI agent. He don't probably care, but it's like I would have put an AI agent in my thumbnail. I'll make a different person, or I may have a digital twin and whatnot. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So AI trends, and but the thing with his apps is they're all good. They all good for business. So he's not doing nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing nothing wrong. He's just showing you how you could sit in your agency, or sit in your office, or sit with your teams and whatnot, and build out deliverable apps, what they call tools and whatnot. And then how do you promote them? Through blogs, through YouTube channels. You want to pay people to promote your shit. Spend some money. You got to have a budget for advertising and whatnot. You can advertise on Roku television. Spin City broke it down in the last Techno Tuesdays that we did. You can advertise on Roku television. They have a Roku television thing for. I'm gonna take you over there in a minute. They have a Roku for ads, like for you could basically start at $500. So imagine if somebody's watching real TV, they're watching one of these shows on TV, and your commercial pops up, and you pushing an app or a service or a product. It's gonna hit a little different, you know? People are gonna take you a little more serious, you know? Because they like, if you take yourself serious, shit, I'm gonna take you serious. But the days of handing out flyers alone, that's not cutting it. You need more people. You need more people, you know? That is not gonna cut it no more. You gotta pop up on the internet where people are at. You gotta pop up on YouTube commercials, Facebook, LinkedIn, those places. That's where people are gonna pay more attention to you. So these are the AI trends. I'm gonna drop the. These are the AI trends. So you could get on to the trends, leave your email, and they'll let you know about all of the trends going on. And shit, trends is where the money is at. Trends is where the energy is at, right? You follow it, you jump in the trend, that's where the currency is. It is charged up. That's where the people are at, you know? So you want to get in where that you want to get in where the candle is going up, where the action is at. So let me drop this tool. Do we have any words, any questions? Because we're about to land this plane for today session, because I do have to get ready for tonight. Thank you, Wodur. He was on point with that. I really wish that we could stay a little longer, because it's so much stuff to share. But we do this every Saturday after our Friday workshop. I encourage all that are in attendance, if you have not joined the Imaginarium workshop, I definitely encourage everyone that's in here today to join the workshop. And if you want to be a part of the 72-hour quote unquote boot camp, I also suggest that you be a part of that too. Like tap in to what it is that we're doing over here, because both with the workshop and with the boot camp, everything is basically worth its weight in gold, and it's all designed to not help you because we ain't here to help. We're here to assist. It's designed to assist you in your upward mobility and whatever it is that you're doing. It doesn't it whatever we got it all covered. Whatever it may be that you're doing, well, there's an AI built for that. There's a solution for that. You feel me? There's a hack that we are going to help you with or assist you with and whatnot. So yeah, man. For the people that are new, just check us out. Become a part of what we're doing outside of YouTube because YouTube is definitely the front facing, is one of the most important avenues that we have. However, we are doing monumental things behind the scenes, respectfully. We are doing monumental things behind the scenes with our quote unquote brethren, our brothers and sisters who are investing in themselves and who are outside, making things happen. As you can see with the with some of the students that are breaking down what it is that they're doing and whatnot, we're here making moves. We're not just here talking. We're not just here talking. YouTube is great for the conversations and the talks and whatnot, but we're moving right now. We're moving because it's time to move. As we can see with the world, the way that the world is moving, it's definitely time to move. You know what I mean? It's time to move around. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, with that being said, once again, any questions and any any questionings or any comments or concerns from anyone?
Yeah, it's not a question. It's just that I done created a 6-part series, everything, but my laptop keep going out, and I feel like I'm like f falling behind. I'm trying to get out of that energy, but
Yes.
I can't even get past the first two classes because I can't move forward. I'm trying to do it on my phone, so I just wanted to make that comment to say where I was at with everything.
Nikila, you said your laptop had crashed?
Yeah, it crashed. It went out, and then I got it to come back on, but now I can't get it to connect to another monitor
Right.
because the laptop screen is broken, and yeah, so
Let's just build.
not all
You
the work is I can't get past to show that I'm doing the work.
Nah, it's all good. You in school with us, right?
Yeah.
Just hit me on the inbox, send me your number, and
O-
me and you will just walk through it.
Okay.
Me and you will
Thank.
be able to walk through. I got you, no worries.
All right. Thank you.
Even if I have to bring somebody in the class to kind of like just walk with you and assist you until you get on your feet and get more acclimated to some of the class, to the classes that have already occurred, no problem.
Thank
Do
you.
we have access to the previous classes? Yes, if you are, once you become a member, once you become a student inside of the Imaginarium and whatnot, yes, you do have access to not only the classes, but also the assets, the PDFs, which are in and of itself monumental. You have access to the Discord and things of that nature.
Hey, Red, real quick, I wanted to let you know that I see that C Dance 2.0 and that Cinema Studio 3.0 is showing up in a lot of different AI apps.
Yeah.
I saw one for the C Dance 2.0, but they wanted you to get the team member subscription
Yeah, on
for
Hicksville.
65%. No, it wasn't on Hicksville. This was on a where was I at? I think one might have been Open Art or something. It was like
Right.
65% off.
I would kind of chill. I would just wait. You know what I mean? What they're doing right now is they're just they're capitalizing on the hype. You feel me? They're kind of capitalizing on the hype. I haven't really even I got C Dance about a month ago through a app called Love Art or something, and it was very glitchy. So I'm really just being patient when it comes to the whole C Dance 2 hype. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody to jump out there and get caught up in no type of expensive membership or subscription. and just for the hype of that, and then it's not even gonna work the best way that you might. It's not even gonna work optimally the way that you may want it to work. So, is there anybody in here today that is using C Dance that has access to it? Okay. Right. Yeah. Paulin, you're on the iPhone. Okay, no worries. This is what I would tell everybody that's on the iPhones and stuff of that nature. These links that I dropped today for like these websites and stuff like that, all of that could just be, I could pull, all of that was on my phone. You could access all of these on your phone. Get a little bit familiar with OpenClaw off their website. Just read and whatnot. Read some of the stuff. You don't have to. Don't press yourself to go fast and whatnot. Don't put your foot on the gas and speed too much. Just drive slow. You know what I mean? While you have your while it's only the phone, or while the phone is still monumental. It's your learn is this is time to learn some things. That's what the phone is good for. YouTube videos and kind of like learning some things. You could also put Notebook LM on your phone. I'm gonna come out with a list of the powerful mobile apps that you could basically use in Imaginarium and whatnot. They will work both on PC, desktop, and on your phone. So I'll do that soon. If you have a gardening idea,
Can you hear me? Oh,
Iron
okay.
Elk, yeah, you can hit me up on on the school. You could inbox me on school, or you could inbox me on IG. But yeah, let's brainstorm. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. This is Akasha. Another thing people could do, it's been working for me so far. I use a Raspberry Pi, like 500, like so it's under $200, and it's
I
a
can't hear you
keyboard,
that
and
good,
so you really just.
Akasha. Can you speak into
Oh,
the phone?
okay.
You had the
I'll
earphones.
put it in the chat. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. So yeah, everything is gonna work out with everybody. You know what I mean? This is what I'm working on, just to give y'all a heads up. I got with a person, one of my collaborators and whatnot. She's a 501c3. We've been moving around Atlanta, knocking on doors and whatnot. I don't like to speak of things before they hatch, but we basically secured a business that will give us 500 computers. Okay. They will give us 500, they will give us either to 100 to 500 computers, and they're going to give us the people that will train, the trainers, right? All they told us is the requirement is that basically every whoever we will have to the people who are in attendance will have to be able to complete at least 80% of the training, and then you'll be able to walk out of there with a computer for free. Okay? So I'm working on solidifying that. Okay. And once I get that, once the ink dries on that, we're gonna throw an event like a career day, right? Or we're gonna do an event where we're gonna have people come through, and you'll basically be able to get free computers, and the computers is gonna be loaded up. You ain't gonna walk out of there with a Chrome notebook. You're gonna walk out of there with a computer that has at least 20 different apps already preloaded on it. So, you know what I'm saying? So you could do what you need to do and whatnot. Whoa there. Uh, okay. So if you signed up to the Eventbrite for the thing tonight, or did you sign up for the Imaginarium courses or the workshop? Just to be clear as to what it is that you have signed up for, and I'll walk you through it. You know what I'm saying? So for the people that don't have the laptops or you don't have the computers, I want y'all to be the first in line. You feel me? This is going to be more so in Atlanta at first, but we'll be moving around. Henceforth, why I'm doing something in North Carolina. And then after that, I think we're going to do Houston next and whatnot, right? So, you know, we definitely got you. Okay. Okay, so the workshop, yeah, you'll get the email and you'll have access to everything through that. No worries. When you sign up, you'll have access to the replays and the PDFs and everything. That'll be in your email that'll be coming to you. Yes, Raspberry Pi. Thank you for the Raspberry Pi heads up. That right there, we need a whole class on Raspberry Pi. But woo, man, for anybody that's considered themselves like a builder or somebody that knows how to create things, this right here, this is what they this is how you can make wearable tech. This is you could put Clawbot on Raspberry Pi, right? So Raspberry Pi it comes from all the way back in the day. It's like a mini computer. It's a mini computer and whatnot, you know? So definitely check that out. Oh, Raspberry AI. This is not even Raspberry Pi. Okay, this is Raspberry AI. Oh, oh, interesting. This is different. I thought this was Raspberry Pi. My bad. This is Raspberry AI. So you use this to design products. This is for my products out here. This is for my fashion and my quote unquote apparel people and whatnot. As you can see, they turning sketches into renders, right? Sketch to render, AI avatar photorealism. You could put clothes on, try on clothes and whatnot. So imagine having a app like this. I don't know if they have an API, but imagine building a website, right? Where your website does all of this. Or imagine adding this to your clothing website or your apparel website or your Shopify store. And you basically could tell people, yeah, you want to turn that into an alligator bag. Boom. You feel me? So, and when you want to, sometimes I book demos when I have questions about that API. I just book a demo. If I don't see it on the page, I just book a demo and then I ask the people when they call me, yo, what's up with white labeling this? You have a white label for this? You have a da 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 da? And they'll let you know right away. Because remember, they're in business. They're not trying to hide nothing. They're not gatekeeping and whatnot. They want to sell as much as they can. So they're in business. So they're gonna let you know what you can do and what you can't do. So yeah. But look into Raspberry Pi as well. Being that I talked about it, shit, let me pull that up. Raz. Can y'all see this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Raspberry Pi is basically a mini computer, right? But it does monumental things. It does monumental things. So that's why I was like, if you're like an engineer or if you have that type of mind state and whatnot, because I don't, this could be kind of like it's a learning curve to it. But they got children working with Raspberry Pi, building computers and building robots and all type of shit. So let's just say that you wanted to build let's say that you wanted to build a toy that talks. Or let's say you wanted to put like Teddy Ruxpin. Back in the days, they had Teddy Ruxpin, the bear that talks and whatnot. Or the little babies and shit that was they was using these kind of Raspberry Pi chips. That's what like Raspberry Pi is for shit like that. Like it's a computer, mini computer, but you could basically put it inside of products or you could build your own type of hardware and things of that nature. Very, very cutting edge. So you might want to look into that. They be having hackathons where they come through and they build things with the Raspberry Pi. Okay? So yeah, man, with that being said, I want to say give thanks. Yeah. Thank y'all all for your contributions. Thank you for your time and your patience and your insight. You know what I mean? And for those that signed up to the free masterclass for the 10 Claw Commandments tonight, I'll see you there. For those that have signed up to the workshop on Fridays, I'll see you there. And for my brothers and sisters in the school community, I'll see you there. All right. Peace, love, and light to the family on this good 4-4. And yeah,
Thank you.
indeed. Thank you.